Yo, what's up everybody, welcome back to another YouTube video. It is Brenas, as you know, and today we are going to be reacting to true story scary animations. So remember to like and subscribe. Let me know if you guys enjoy these type of videos, because I do not have a clue which videos to post anymore, because yeah, I'm not sure what you guys prefer. But you guys should tell me what I should do next for a video. Should I game? Should I play a horror game? Should I react to more videos, scary videos, any type of videos? You guys have to let me know. But anyways, we're gonna get straight into it and enjoy this video. Boom. Okay, so guys, let's get straight into it. First off, huge shout out to MJV Animations for making these videos. It's awesome videos and I love the content. But anyways, let's get straight into it.
It all started over a year ago, living in my current small neighborhood. It was unusually hot in our house for October, and my sister figured it'd be a good idea to keep her window open for a bit of air. She was doing her homework, and I was getting ready for bed when suddenly she burst into my room. She frantically says that she heard some noises outside, sounds of leaves crunching under a person's steps. I believed it to be an animal, so I walk into her room and stay there for not more than 5 minutes, till I hear leaves crunching. We quickly glance out the window, only to hear the sound of something running away in the woods. But that wouldn't be the end of the story. During the winter, I enjoy exploring the woods towards the back of my house, climbing trees and traveling further back to the fields. I remember the events very clearly. It had just snowed that night, the first snowfall of winter, and I was more excited than ever to head out there. I did so and climbed my usual tree to look out. I gave a cursory glance around me and at the ground when I noticed something strange. Footsteps leading away from my house. This wouldn't be weird, as long as the front of the footsteps didn't end up pointing straight at my house and the origin of them came from a seemingly long-off start. I tracked them down up to a point where there was a rusty wire fence covered in snow where they disappeared. October 2017. It started up again. I was laying in my bed, pitch dark, not a light shining through my room when I heard it. My doorknob turning and my door creaking open. My heart stopped. Every single possibility of what it was rushing through my mind. Keep in mind, my door is always shut when I go to sleep. Since I was covered by my blanket, I quickly shot my sister a text. "Did you just come into my room?" She replied with a sharp, "No, I'm all the way in Hillard." My heart began pumping fast. I slowly snuck my hand under my pillow and grabbed my baton, sent a text to my dad, and waited. My dad came in mere minutes later with a knife, shot on the lights, and I jumped out of bed. Searched the entire house with nothing. Alarm set and all doors locked. Impossible. There's no way that happened. My dad and my mom were asleep, and a cat would have opened it much faster if it jumped to the doorknob. You best believe I didn't sleep a second that night. Fast forward to December, my relatives in town staying for a week in the basement. We turned on the alarm and all head to sleep. I stayed up gaming. In the morning, around 2:30 to 3, estimated since I wasn't aware of what had transpired, my uncle slowly opened his eyes with a feeling of being watched. His eyes adjusted a bit to the dark before he saw it. A guy, average height, scrawny, hair flowing in the wind and shivering, looking inside their room through the window. My uncle screamed and they grabbed the baby before taking off upstairs. That morning, I was informed what happened. I looked for footprints and saw only the smallest sign of a footprint, a front toe print made by what I could only assume was a sneaker. My uncle gave me more details without me telling him I looked for footprints, and he said the guy was leaning to the left looking in. The footprint matched his story. The left had a thin line of dirt anybody could have shimmied across. Now that leads to tonight, the night I could swear he or whatever it was had been in our house. I couldn't sleep. Life has been stressful lately, and I was up pretty much all night until I tried getting rest. Every night, I've had string Christmas lights dimly light the room until tonight. I figured the lights must have been interfering with my sleep, so I unplugged them and headed off to sleep. Pillow over my head, I started to drift off until it happened. A quick strum of my guitar and the sound of something falling over, with a desperate attempt to stop it from hitting the ground, filled the room. This sound ignited my heart rate, saliva developing at an extreme speed made it hard not to swallow. I could feel the presence of somebody in my room. Realizing I left my baton on my desk, I did the next logical thing, pretend I was asleep. I tried and laid there for what felt like hours, when in reality it was only a few minutes. until I heard a whimper come from my sister's room. Imagining this may be the day everyone in my family was silently murdered but me, I gathered all the courage I had. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and grabbed my baton. I busted into my sister's room and screamed, "Hey!" only to see that they were unharmed. My sister asked what the heck I was doing, and I just stood there, looked into the pitch black of my room and cried. I've never in my life felt the overwhelming emotion of believing my family was going to be taken from me until today. I sit here in my chair writing this in hopes to document my experiences and try to come to some logical conclusion. All I can come up with is that there are some guys stalking my family and perhaps sneaking into our rooms at night. If anything else happens, I'll post it to this thread. I'm gonna try to sleep now.
Why don't you call the police? Damn. That was wow. Okay. So first of all, well done. Your windows and doors and everything was locked. So that's actually a positive of the story. But then yet again, if you're laying there and you hear something, don't get under your covers, bro. That's not gonna help you. Like, jump up and do something. I'm not saying attack the guy because like he may be armed, but like, yeah, don't pretend like you're asleep. That's like the worst thing you could have done. Okay, but anyways, let's move on to story number 2.
This week has been hectic. My 3 kids have the flu. Oldest was first, then my younger 2 caught it. After a visit to the clinic, I was heading to the CVS down the street from our house for their prescriptions. I decided last minute to drop my kids off at home with their dad so they could rest, and I could go inside the store to pick up some Pedialyte. I consider our neighborhood to be safe. I've taken walks after dark and never felt afraid. Most of our neighbors are older folks who have lived there over a decade. When I pulled up to the CVS, I parked on the side parallel to our street. It's darker on that side, but the entrance is right around the corner and well lit. There was a man standing outside. He walked in front of my car and I could hear him talking, but my music was kind of loud. I figured he was on his phone or something. No real red flags yet. My husband called me as the man walked back towards the corner adjacent to the entrance. I got out of my car, still on the phone, telling my husband, yeah, the kiddos have the flu. I'm picking up medicine at the CVS, etc. In a very pleasant voice, the man says to me, "Hey, I got a question for you. You know where Main Street is?" I, assuming he is asking for directions or the location of something, tell him I do.
Is that like in real life?
I'm still holding my phone to my ear. It's in a bright pink case, so I'm sure you can see it. Now, this man is standing directly in front of me. There is a pillar and a trash can behind him. Around the corner is a propane cage and a red box against the store's wall. Getting past him would have put me in arm's reach. Next, he asks me for a ride there, to a homeless shelter. It's very cold outside and he doesn't want to freeze. I empathized with him, but I said I couldn't. I offered to buy him some gloves and or a blanket, and to ask if an employee in the store could assist him in finding a ride. This guy's face instantly changed to pure rage, then right back to pleasant. Well, you know what happens to homeless people stuck outside. You're going to help me. It's right down the street. I'm standing there unsure what to do. My husband is on the phone asking me what's going on. I gently tell the man that I don't feel comfortable doing that and that I have the flu. I don't, and my husband is on the phone with me. I don't care about the flu, he said. Now he's getting more angry and not moving away from my route into the store. I didn't want to turn my back on him to go to my car, which was several feet away in the dark. While this guy is glaring at me, I decided to quickly walk past him. I had my mask from the clinic in my jacket pocket, so I pulled that out and held it in front of me while I moved towards the trash can. He looked disgusted, but kept telling me that I needed to give him a ride, that it's right down the street, and kept insisting. But I know where that street is, and it's not as close as he says. He tried to gild me, and his words felt threatening, but he didn't actually threaten me verbally. Once I was around the corner, I rushed into the store straight to the pharmacy. My husband said he's calling the police. He heard the way the man was talking to me and said to stay in the store. My knees were shaking. I'm not usually the type to be afraid when confronted. When I got to the pharmacy, I interrupted the pharmacist and a customer, apologizing, then told them what happened. The pharmacist sent the store manager out, a tall guy with a long beard. Looked like he doesn't take crap from people. The police had already arrived. The man was told to leave, which he did momentarily. He came back inside the store yelling obscenities and something about me. Now the store manager has told him to get the heck out. He's trespassing on the property. The cop came back to talk to me and told me she has arrested him many times. He's loud and likes to yell at people, but he isn't violent. The pharmacist had me hiding behind the screen where they gave vaccines and left the half door to the pharmacy cracked open in case I needed to get out of there. The cop had also told me this guy's first and last name, as did the store manager. Is that normal? The prescriptions are finally filled and I leave the store. The police park next to my car to keep an eye on me. Oh, and the man refused to ride from the cop to the shelter. Later I looked him up. His name is unique, so he was easy to find online. Surprise, surprise. He has a long record spanning 3 states and several counties.
Damn.
Tons of public intoxication
Okay,
charges,
so my advice
DWI, urinating in public, assault and battery, and indecent exposure. I also looked up the homeless shelter. Yeah, as I thought, there isn't one where he wanted me to take him, but that area is super sketchy. Earlier today, I went to the corner store across from the CVS and told my friend, the overnight shift employee, what happened. She kicks him out of the store and calls the police every time she sees him because he yells and threatens customers. But he always takes off before the police arrive. I know I could have handled that better. I was blindsided by his instant shift from pleasant to filled with rage. But big thank you to the pharmacy team who kept me safe and the store manager for confronting the creep. They didn't have to do all that. I'm also thankful my husband recognized I was in an unsafe situation over the phone. That man is still out there somewhere in my area.
Damn, I thought he was arrested. What? Okay, well, damn, never follow my advice ever again. I gave the wrong advice. Don't pick up strangers and take them to local homeless shelters, I guess. Noted. But okay, let's move on to the next one.
Road trip a few years ago, going back home from college. I had gone to a university that was a 10-hour drive from home.
Why do you sound
When I was
like
done
that?
with school, I packed
Okay,
up my
I'm not
car
joking.
and was on the way back. I never really brought that much stuff, but my car still had a lot in it. I drove this old car that was kind of in bad shape. It had a lot of miles on it and often had problems. But I was in college and didn't really have that much money, so I put off getting it fixed. Also, because of not having much money, I was planning on driving home all in one day and not stopping at any hotels. After driving all day, I found myself only about 2 hours from home, but driving on some really quiet highway. There were mostly woods on both sides of the road, and things were very quiet as it was now 10 p.m. I was not that tired yet and was used to staying up late from being in college and stuff. So I continued with my driving and was just happy that I was almost back home. But then the engine started sounding real bad, and my car ended up breaking down on the side of the road. My car came rolling to a stop, and I didn't know what to do. There were really no other cars on the road. I took out my phone, but wasn't getting a signal. This made things go from bad to worse. Now I really didn't know what I should do. I had no idea exactly where I was. I knew the general area, but did not know if there were any gas stations or stores nearby. I hadn't seen any signs, and as I was looking around, I didn't see any lights off in the distance or anything like that. Nothing indicating that there were businesses up ahead. I thought about getting out and walking, but who knows how long that would take. As I sat there, I was trying to get my phone to work. I didn't know another option. I knew that my car had problems, but I didn't know enough to try to fix it. There was no use in messing around with the engine or anything. If I did, I would probably just make things worse. After maybe 10 minutes of trying my phone, I figured that my best bet was to get out and walk. I couldn't think of anything else to do. Every minute or two, a car would drive by, but nobody stopped to help me. And I was not mad about that, because who knows who would be out driving on the roads late at night. It could be some creep or weirdo. Still, I was kind of nervous to get out of my car. It was so dark and quiet outside, and I didn't know how long I would have to walk for. I was nervous about people, but I was also nervous about animals, as the woods was dense and there was lots of wildlife in the area. Then, just before I was about to go outside, I heard a knock at the back window of my car. It startled me, and I'm sure that I jumped. When I looked back, I saw some guy standing by my rear passenger side window knocking on the window. I remember that the guy was balding, and I had no idea where he had come from. It looked like he had just come straight out of the woods. He also had a bit of a beard, and there was no car on the road behind me. Right next to me was a ditch to the right, and then the thick forest. I was not aware of anybody's property or anything like that either being nearby. I looked back to the man who now saw me, but he didn't say anything. He was just standing there. I didn't know what to do. I waved at him, but the guy didn't wave back or say anything. Then he tried opening the back door, which was locked. The guy then walked around my car to the passenger side and then around to the front of my car. During the whole time, he did not say anything at all. Then he arrived at my driver's side door and tried opening that. Then the guy started knocking at the window when the door didn't open because of it being locked, all the while not saying a word. I was so creeped out that I did the only thing I could think to do. I tried starting my car again, and miraculously, it started. I hit the gas and drove away from there. The man was left standing there on the side of the road. I got back onto the highway, and thankfully my car was able to make it all the way back home. After that, I took it to a shop and got it fixed, because I wasn't taking any more chances after that experience. Looking back, I think the guy came from the woods. I don't know where else he came from. What he was doing in there, I don't know, but I'm really glad that I got away from him.
Oh my days. Okay, that is the luckiest story I have ever heard in my freaking life, bro. Your car just starting, bro, that's just, yeah, okay. But anyways, let's move on to the last video. If you enjoy these type of videos of me reacting, please drop it in the comments below, because I really don't know what I should be doing at the moment. Should I be doing IRL videos, gaming videos, reacting videos? You guys have to let me know what you guys prefer. But anyways, let's move on to our last video.
2 years ago, I took a road trip to Dallas, Texas. It was a long drive, and I planned to do as much as I could each day. One night, I was driving, and it got to be really late. I was tired, but I knew I could keep going. I just needed a quick pit stop. I had literally no idea where I was. The only thing I knew at that particular time was that I was on some random highway in either Arkansas or Oklahoma. It was a little after midnight, and the roads were very quiet. I started looking around for a city or a place to stop. I was sleepy and also had to use the restroom. I had nothing left to drink and was out of snacks, but I knew if I could get some caffeine, I could drive for several more hours. Finally, after driving for like 10 more minutes, I saw a sign for a rest area up ahead. When it came up, I took the exit to the right and entered it. The rest area was very quiet and small. There was no other roads connecting to it. The rest area was just directly off the highway, and then the only option was to get back onto it. As for the rest area itself, it was just one long parking lot and then a small building. Surrounding it was a grass area and then lots of woods. There was also a wooded area between the rest area and the highway, so you couldn't see it from the road. I pulled into a parking space right in front of the building. I thought that this rest area looked pretty sketchy. It had just a few dimly lit streetlights going along the parking lot, and then one other one next to the building. The building also looked old and outdated. I considered just moving along and trying to make it to a town for another stop, but I thought about the drive. For like the last hour, I hadn't really come across any cities or much else. There was no telling how much farther I would have to drive before reaching something. Plus, the cell phone signal around there was spotty at best. And I knew that I needed something to drink, and this place probably had a vending machine at the very least. I looked around and saw that no other cars were in the parking lot at all. I didn't know whether to feel good or bad about this observation. On one hand, it was nice to have the place to myself and nobody else around, but on the other hand, it felt more creepy this way. As a smaller woman traveling alone, I was always trying to keep my guard up a little at night. I sat in my parked car and looked around. I didn't hear or see anything at all. I decided that it should be fine. I took my pepper spray just in case. So I got out of my car and then walked up the sidewalk into the building. I felt creeped out, but told myself not to be a wimp and there was nothing to be afraid of. After making it inside the building, there really wasn't much in there. The men's restroom was to one side and the women's to the other. Then there was a small lobby with a couple of vending machines and a few benches. I went in the restroom and was in there for maybe a minute. As I was washing my hands, I thought I heard footsteps inside the lobby. I realized that somebody else must have got there. I heard the footsteps go closer to the women's restroom that I was in, but the door did not open. The footsteps stopped right outside of it. Then someone started banging on the door very loudly. This was strange because the bathroom door did not lock. It was a bathroom where there were several stalls and sinks inside of it, so the door just swung open and could not be locked at all. I thought they would enter, but instead they just banged on it very loudly. I was very confused. For some reason, I didn't say anything though. The banging went on for maybe 30 seconds and it was really strange. Finally, it stopped. Then I heard footsteps walking away, and based on the footsteps, I guessed that it was a man. I'm not an expert, but they were louder and heavier and almost like work boots.
Okay. Listen, what you want to do in this situation, wait till the guy, or woman, I don't know, I don't want to assume, but like wait until they are right past your door, barge out of the door, run to your car, start, drive away. Easy as that, bro. Don't take chances. Don't stay there and check the situation out. Be smart. Exactly.
I sort of heard the door open and realized that whoever was there was leaving. I was pretty creeped out by the whole thing, so I waited in the bathroom for about another minute and then left. I walked out of the bathroom with my pepper spray in hand. I looked around but didn't see anybody. When I left the rest area building and got back out into the parking lot, only my car was there.
He's gonna be inside.
It was strange because I hadn't heard another car come or go. Even though I was in the building, I thought I would have heard that. Nevertheless, I walked out to my car and got back inside. I realized that I hadn't even gotten anything to drink or eat, but I felt that I no longer needed an energy drink. I was wide awake. Plus, I just wanted to get out of there at this point. I started my engine and began driving out of there. Now, the rest area parking lot narrowed at the end to a one-lane road. This went between the wooded area on both sides and then merged directly back onto the highway. As I was going to the end of the parking area and the road started narrowing, I suddenly saw something up ahead. I continued to drive, but then saw a man come out of the woods and go right onto the road in front of me. He was a good 50 feet ahead, but I had to slam on my brakes to avoid hitting him. The man had sort of long hair and a beard and was wearing a brown jacket, jeans, and would look like work boots. Could this have been the man who was banging on the door? He stopped right in the middle of the road and now stood there, completely blocking my way. I stopped on the road and he just looked at me facing my direction. We were just staring at each other for what felt like a long time. It was probably about 30 seconds. I wanted to go around him, but there just wasn't enough space. The man started walking towards my car. I put it into reverse and began backing up. He didn't say anything or make any motions to me. He didn't wave or ask me to go around him or anything. As I backed up, he started walking faster. I realized that he was coming after me and I hit the gas harder. As I reversed north, the man started to run after me. I backed up all the way until I was in the parking lot. Then I turned the car around and started driving away. The man stood there back towards the end of the lot. If I wanted to leave, I would have to go past him. But then I decided to just go out the wrong way. I drove to the entrance and went along the one-way road there, going the wrong direction. If anybody had tried to enter the rest area from the highway in that moment, I would have possibly hit them head on. Thankfully, nobody was. I made it to the entrance and then did a sharp right turn and merged back onto the highway from there. Nobody else was on the highway at the time. Then I drove past the rest area. When I passed by where the rest area merged back onto the highway, as I was getting up to speed still, I saw the man again. He was standing on the side of the road just past the rest area exit, looking at me. I was so creeped out. I drove a ways and then called 911 and reported the guy. I was told that a police officer would go to the rest area and check it out. I never heard anything more. Looking back, I'm still wondering who that guy was and what he was doing. He definitely seemed to be up to no good. With just him and I alone in the rest area that night, it was a very creepy encounter.
Wow, okay. Wasn't that the fourth story already? Yeah, I'm not watching another one because I am... Oh my goodness, I'm done giving advice to these guys, bro. I'm just like, no, I'm just kidding. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. again, huge shout out to MJV Animations for making these. They are awesome videos. I watch them all the time. You should go watch them as well. And make sure to turn on your post notification button so you know when I upload again. I'll see you guys in the next one, and remember to comment which videos I should do, because I have no clue. You guys have to tell me what you guys prefer. I'll see y'all in the next one.